Coming up on Mountain News this morning, 2 flood survivors move into their new homes in a higher ground community in Floyd County. And lawmakers are trying to clarify a law that limits communication between Kentucky teachers and students outside of the classroom.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Welcome to Mountain News this morning. I'm Neely Green, live on air with you this Friday, March 6th. Time is now 6:27, and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmond for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, the past few days have been absolutely beautiful, and I'm not looking forward to that change.
Yeah, neither am I. The storm chances coming in tomorrow are definitely not going to be fun, but the good news is we're continuing to watch those chances showers eating away at itself. We've seen about a 30% chance the past 2 days, but today looking at about a 20% chance of rain, honestly more like 15, as we're really just seeing some slight sprinkle chances this morning and a slight chance for some scattered showers as we head into the afternoon. Mostly dry though as you're finishing off your work week, with temperatures this morning in a mixture of the 50s, really a range between 46 to 61 degrees, and by the afternoon making its way into the 80s. So make sure you're not wearing many layers this morning and this afternoon because it's going to get very hot very quickly. Neely.
Thank you, Megan. Local and state officials gathered in Floyd County yesterday to celebrate a new chapter for 2 families of flood survivors. WYMT's Buddy Forbes was there at the ribbons cutting as families were welcomed home.
Today represents more than an opening of a home.
It's one step closer to hope for these folks.
2 families are opening the doors to new chapters in their new homes at New Hope Estates.
Honey, I'm moving my stuff in tonight. Tonight.
The Prestonsburg Higher Ground community celebrated the completion of its first 2 builds Thursday, bringing its first residents in for a ribbon-cutting ceremony.
Proud homeowner.
I just hugged Claudette after this, and she was teary, and she said, haven't had my own home in 5 years. Claudette
Reffitt has been waiting years for this day, saying she has watched floodwaters soil her home for the last time.
I'm glad to get a home. Me and my son is glad to get a home. We really are. We lived at Maytown all of our life. I have. And flooded.
Ruby Hale says the last flood hit her community hard, but it was a mudslide that washed her out.
The hill that behind come down and knocked every bit of my block out, foundation and everything.
She has lived in the home on its uneven foundation while wiping away mold every day, but is now looking forward to not looking at the sky every time it rains.
You got that right. I can say I pray for them people, but I don't have to pray for me.
Reffitt says she shares that same relief.
No, I don't have to worry about floods anymore. No more water. No more water.
Officials say the hope is to extend that same security to more flood survivors in the days to come, saying 26 homes are expected to be built on the larger lot of the estates upon its completion, and 14 will be built on the nearby lot across the railroad tracks, with 3 homes currently under construction.
I mean, that is what we are working towards. That's what we're celebrating, and we can never lose sight of how personal that really feels.
Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman says the more than $11 million investment is about more than new homes.
And I love that the name of this subdivision is New Hope. I just think that's amazing, remarkable, and I hope that's not lost on future generations.
In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Anyone interested in finding out more about the site or how to apply for one of the homes can go to housingcan'twait.org. Some folks in Breathitt County are trying to preserve the rich history of one of the oldest buildings on HCTC's Lee College campus. Jackson Hall was built in 1927 and has adapted to the changing need of students throughout the years. But college officials say it has structural concerns and has been vacant since 2022. Now the college president says they want to work with the community to keep the campus moving forward cost efficiently while preserving its history.
We have explored a number of grant options that might be available. We have looked at various ideas and renderings from architects. We have talked about a number of possible partnerships, And all in all, we are just really trying to collect the input and make the best decision that will support our students, our employees, our community, and allow for continued campus growth.
HCTC officials encourage community members to complete a feedback survey. You can find that link in the story at WYMT.com. We are following a situation out of Owsley County that allegedly happened at an elementary school. Officials at the school district put out a letter regarding an alleged threat at Owsley County Elementary School. They say they are working closely with law and state law enforcement, along with the county attorney's office, as the claims are being investigated. No other information was released. In Bell County, 4 people were arrested after police executed a search warrant at a home in Pineville. After police went to the home on Knuckles Lane, the K-9 alerted deputies that meth and pills had been discovered inside. 2 pistols, packaging materials, and drug paraphernalia were also seized. Morgan Sizemore, Jennifer Taylor, Walter Howard, and James Lawson were taken into custody. Violence has no place in this world. That was Governor Andy Beshear's message to the faith community last night. The governor was the keynote speaker at the Diocese of Lexington's United in Hope event. In his speech, the governor condemned acts of political violence.
Over these past few years, across our country, we've seen an increase in deadly acts of senseless violence. American lives have been taken far too soon.
The governor called on people to learn, respect others, and called for unity. Lawmakers are trying to clarify a law that limits communication between Kentucky teachers and students outside of the classroom. The original law was passed to monitor communication to protect students. House Bill 67 passed out of House Education Committee. The proposed law hopes to make things easier for teachers. When Senate Bill 181 became law, it banned non-traceable communications between school employees and students. It also requires schools to create at least one type of communication that is traceable. House Bill 67 expands the definition of family members in a student's household, better defines who is a coach, and also exempts students who work at the schools during the summer. It also allows exemptions for teachers while on field trips.
She was really upset because they were late coming back from a field trip. She had 60 students on a field trip, and the bus location pickup was in a different area. Couldn't find some students. She just wished she could have called them and said, you know, meet at this particular location. The location's changed. Instead, she couldn't, or felt like she couldn't. So this bill clarifies that in that situation, she most certainly could.
The bill also allows for teachers to comment on public social media posts of students. Continuing in Frankfort, the State House wasted no time in passing a bill that will protect domestic violence survivors when it comes to custody cases. House Bill 418 is not final yet, as it still has to pass in the Senate, but it passed the House by a vote of 96-1. The bill says that if the court finds a parent in custody case has committed domestic violence or abuse, it can't cut parenting time or remove custody from the non-abusive parent. Right now, the court assumes that a joint custody is in a child's best interest. But House Bill 418 says if a parent has committed 2 or more acts of domestic violence or abuse, the court must assume that joint custody and shared equal parenting time are not in the child's best interest. To get unsupervised visitation back, the parent must complete parenting classes, attend a certified batterers intervention program, go through mental health assessments, and have participated in supervised visitation. After these steps, the court will hold hearings to allow unsupervised visitation and restore custodial rights. Under the proposed law, professionals must have 16 hours of training in these areas before providing services and 8 hours of training annually. If you are looking for men's suits or formal wear, Downtown Hazard might just have what you are looking for. Kidako Suit & Company hosted its soft opening Wednesday, welcoming customers and community members. The store sells suits, belts, shoes, and other apparel. A mother and daughter pair, Rita and Nicole Fugit, opened the store. Rita says they are excited to fill the gap of affordable men's formal wear in the area. She says they are already working on special community partnerships.
We're looking forward to serving the county and the community. We're wanting to work with the schools to possibly donate a tux or a suit to a student each year for prom. That would be something that we are looking forward to doing. I actually just went and talked with Hazard High School this morning.
Kedeco Suit & Company will be open on East Main Street in Hazard Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Mondays with appointment only. Governor Andy Beshear highlighted tax season changes during his Team Kentucky briefing. He says due to federal changes, your return could be impacted. He says Kentuckians who file their taxes between April 1st and the deadline on the 15th may run into postmark delays. Postmarks through the U.S. post offices may no longer reflect the date you dropped off your mail. The postmark date used to determine if Kentuckians filed their taxes in time. Otherwise, they could face a penalty. In addition, anyone wanting to get their refund by direct deposit needs to follow another national requirement.
To receive your refund by direct deposit, your name on your tax return or your tax refund application must match the name on your bank account. Otherwise, a paper check will be mailed. So if Andrew is on one of mine, but Andy is on the other, they could not, under this new tool from the for fraud prevention, which is a requirement from the federal government, do a direct deposit. Taxpayers and business.
Some options to avoid getting penalized includes filing online, requesting a manual postmark when you mail through the post office, mail your taxes in early, or using certified mail. Next week, Apple Red Legal Aid is offering a free assistance clinic. The event will provide estate planning and title clearing. Staff will help folks draft estate plans, including a last will and testament, power of attorney, living will, and funeral planning declarations. Title clearing can help clarify and make a plan to clear home ownership issues. It can even help folks who have experienced a disaster and had trouble with FEMA due to title issues.
And that's important for disaster survivors because in order to get FEMA assistance, you have to be able to prove that you legally owned your home. So that's when title clearing becomes very important.
The Hazard Clinic will be on March 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Passport by Molina Healthcare. And the Pikeville Clinic will be April 15th from 10 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Pike County Public Library. They say more clinics will happen later, or you can schedule a one-on-one clinic. Students at Logan Elementary in Logan County, West Virginia are settling in at their temporary school. The students are currently going to school at Logan Middle School after a fire forced them from the elementary school. Yesterday was their first day at the middle school. The school's principal says the transition has gone smoothly and they've gotten an overwhelming amount of support.
We got students back today, and it's went smoother than I think any of us ever even imagined it would be. They've jumped right back in, and there's been a couple little hiccups, but nothing, I mean, we were expecting and nothing major. They've jumped in and got right back into a routine.
The principal says as of right now, they don't know when students will be back in the elementary school, but she says they'll at least be in the middle school for the rest of this school year.
Still tracking a nice and comfortable morning with temperatures all around in a mixture of the 50s and low 60s for some. By the afternoon, going to be in the 80s. Very nice temperatures for you today. Staying relatively dry. We do have some slight sprinkle chances this morning, and we also are watching some slight chances for scattered showers in the afternoon. But all eyes are on tomorrow as storm chances come into the forecast. I'll have more on that coming up after the break. But before that, let's tell you what you need to know as you're heading off to the bus stop. Temperatures will be in the low 60s heading off to school with partly cloudy skies, and then mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies as you're heading home. Temperatures in the low 80s. Neely.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:41 and still to come on Mountain News this morning. Sleep is on many parents' minds this week as we prepare to change the clocks for daylight savings time.